RWBY. Before this video begins, to all of the other RWBY fans, I just want to remind you all that I enjoy RWBY. It is a great show, and I don't hate it for its flaws or downsides, but I just want to discuss my general opinions on what it does or doesn't achieve. Also, there are spoilers for people who haven't seen it and are interested or are just catching up. And that I'm only doing volumes 1 through 3 in this specific video because there is a lot to explain, and that the show isn't still finished during the time of this video. I will do an opinion video on volumes 4 and 5 soon, and when 6 arrives. I will do a separate video of it soon. Really soon. If you aren't familiar with this show, let me give you some backstory. RWBY is an anime-inspired 3D action cartoon by the now deceased Monty Ohm, a famous animator who was working with Rooster Teeth with his animation lead on other RT shows like Red and Blue. Monty used a software called Poser, an animation tool in Red and Blue and other projects. Ohm had such depth with his animations, with movement and fight scenes being fast-paced and courtesy of traditional battles, rendered in 3D of course. Monty was friends with Rooster Teeth and will always be. In 2013, Ohm wanted to create his own show, a 3D fighting cartoon in his own style, characters, and thinking. RWBY. He pitched the pilot of Rooster Teeth and was later picked up due to its love from reviewers. The series universe is where huntsmen and huntresses exist in a world filled with these big killer creatures called Grimm, and they terrorize people throughout. And it's up to these hunters to protect people from all evil across land. The story follows Ruby Rose, a teenager who wants to be a huntress along with her sister Yang. The Rose sisters are accepted into Beacon Academy, a school for young adults to learn how to be hunters and learn how to battle enemies. Huntsmen and huntresses have their own iconic weapon of their choice, blade, gun, and this one guy had a trumpet that was actually pretty cool to watch. Some of the weapons can turn into both a gun and a blade. That makes it even better. My favorite has to be Yang's weapon though. They're like boxing gloves that shoot fire and hurt really badly. They meet with other students such as Blake, Wise, John, Ren, Nora, Pyrrha, and so much more. They must try to learn to become hunters while handling each other and their own personal issues along the way. The show is called RWBY due to the forming of an acronym with what the 4 members of a team is made up of: Ruby, Wise, Blake, and Yang. The arc of the story expands farther than it, but I don't want to explain it all, cause screw hard work. But let me just say, this show is awesome! I love Monty Ohm's fighting animations. They're fast-paced, grounded, and fun to watch. He can make some splendid stuff with Poser and motion capture. The show is quite a ride. Even when there isn't fighting, I gained such a love for it when my friends online recently told me to watch it, and I just went for it. I enjoyed the designs of weapons, characters, scenery, and a lot of things. The choreography of the battles was fluid. Out of volumes 1 through 3, my favorite is the food fight scene from the start of volume 2. Hilarious and splendid. I'm queen of the castle, I'm queen of the castle. It is awesome! My god. I should listen to my online friends more often. But I will want to go in review mode for a minute, and I have to mention the flaws to what the show does. Ranting about my love could last a while, trust me. But I need to mention that not everything about the show is perfect. As I mentioned before, the Grimm in this universe, they're these giant tar-like creatures who kill and eat other living beings and terrorize towns. They're not that important to the story as of the human villains. In the first 3 volumes, the main focus is on the underground posse of faunists called the White Fang. Faunists are humans but born with characteristics of animals and are born with animal ears, tails, horns, gills, or any other. They're despised for being different, and the White Fang was created to stop the discrimination of faunists, but later turned into a cult wanting to kill humans and rule over the world, etc, etc, blah blah blah. The leader of the White Fang is a baddie with a fedora and cane called Roman Torchwick. He is this cheeky and smart villain that has to be one of my favorites, considering that one of my problems with RWBY has to be the antagonist. Since the beginning, I had this issue concerning the purpose of why the bad guys did their actions, and so much more. A lot of characters never have the best way of being introduced or how they're presented in the show. At the end of Volume 3, It felt as if a lot of characters I actually liked just flat out disappeared, and the focus can go bad concerning it. I hate a lot of the RWBY villains because most of the time, they're just one-noted. They're just there to be there. Villains in the show are either to progress the story or just cause random conflict. The ones I had the most problem with were in the first 3 volumes, Cinder and Neo, with how they just show up and do mainly nothing. Neo shows up, fights, uses her Mary Poppins umbrella, Ex Machina crap happens, and just dies in the 3rd volume. Maybe she could have gotten defeated, maybe flew away, disappeared. I don't know. She doesn't even talk! And that isn't explained either! What the heck? Cinder. She either looks intimidating, fights, kills some people, then is injured and runs off. Seriously? The show is good, but it throws so much at you that it sometimes confuses me, and is just redundant on how things work sometimes. And that can be a sin for storytelling, with the idea of conflict, characters, and how it works most of the time. Even Disney sequels will always do that type of crap as well. It is stupid! Well, with a show with a large world, not everything is explained well, and I find that really reasonable. But it kinda throws it off when not handled correctly. RWBY sometimes does that, but not too much. And I think I should say what my favorite volume would be concerning this video. And out of the ones in this video, in the entire show in general, my favorite is Volume 3. Yes, I enjoyed the season that threw everything off course, to the characters, story, and Rooster Teeth in general. It started off fun with the characters and everything else. Then the moment the 6th episode came in, everything changed. During the production of Volume 3, Monty went into a coma due to an allergic reaction, and later died. He was such a big inspiration to the show and how it worked. His ideas really showed with what he thought of a world, and when he passed, I think everything else died with the show, including beloved characters. The innocence of RWBY was really something lost the moment Chapter 6 of Volume 3 rolled in, and since then, the show has become something more than a show. It's become a creative man's desire of passion, and without Monty, it kind of fell apart. RWBY is something amazing for what it offered, and it carried an amazing fleet on Rooster Teeth. I love this show for what it accomplishes, even if it falls flat sometimes. Despite of what it offered, I love this show. It is a legacy for one man who helped defy the RT channel. And those are the first 3 volumes. I'll continue this initial review with volumes 4 and 5 soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye. And in case any of you are wondering if I'll do a video on Ruby Chilby, I'm not going to do that because that show looks so stupid.